It's me, Capri. My mommy is the best. Super mom will be best. She helps mommies get their smiles back, their giggles back, and their sparkle back. You wait for the show. Brush. Get ready for It's Super Slowly and Super Strong.
Welcome to Healing for the Soul podcast, sponsored by Supermom Robin Stoltman, where every week I feature different guests to empower you to become the best version of yourself through different methods you may not have heard of or thought of. If you are ever looking for a virtual assistant, I highly recommend Sphere Rocket to delegate any business-related tasks like grow your social medias, book appointments, and much more that all businesses require, boosting your sales, productivity, and much more. The link to Sphere Rocket is at the bottom of this episode. This is season number 6, episode number 40. And today I have my guest, Michelle Walters, who is positively passionate about creativity, growth, and persuasion. Michelle shifted from a corporate career in digital marketing to working as a clinical hypnotherapist at the end of the pandemic, after experiencing a massive wave of heartbreak when her dream life partner passed away. Since then, she has been working with individuals to let go of outdated, unhelpful thinking and behavior patterns to grow and change, transforming clients to lead much happier and productive lives. In 2025, Michelle developed her first app, Make My Hypno, which makes personalized hypnosis recordings on demand, leveraging AI and Michelle's metaphorical scripts and soothing voice. Delivered in minutes and specific to the individual, recordings from Make My Hypno have the edge on the pre-recorded, made for everyone audio recording. And today we are talking about what's new at the intersection of wellness and AI. Thank you so much, Michelle, for being here. I appreciate it.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to speak with another hypnotherapist about all the cool kids stuff going on.
Well, yeah, especially like that app, being able to leverage like the voice and being able to have that recordings on demand is awesome.
Yeah. Well, I'm a hypnotherapist like you. I trained in hypnotherapy just pre and during the pandemic, and then decided to shift gears from a career in corporate digital marketing to be a hypnotherapist after my partner died and I sold a house and I moved and like all this stuff. I was like, okay, it's time for I lost a job too, like clear, just new start time. And so I opened my office and started seeing clients and have been cooking along, seeing people for all kinds of things, seeing people both in person here in California as well as online. And then a few months ago, I had this little aha moment. I was like, Michelle, are you going to be run over by the AI train, or are you going to get on it and do something? And I was like, I want to get on the train. I don't want to be run over. That's not me. That's not who I am. And so I had this brilliant moment while sitting at the hairdresser. So my hair's all, and here I am like, I'm going to build an AI app. So I figured it out. I'm pretty clever this way. I got a little bit of help. I had a lot of help from AI, be completely honest. Like AI helped me figure out AI and and it helped. I think also that, like you, I have a podcast. So I know a little bit of, not a ton, but a little bit about audio and how to make that work. And I put all this stuff together. I started programming it myself, which is kind of amazing and frightening. And then I decided, no, I could hire that part out. So I did get a little help on the programming, but the design, the website, the creative, the scripting, the audio, it's me. And what I have at the end of the day is this cool little web app. It's not actually, you won't find it in the iPhone store or Google Play yet. I may move it there, but right now it's just on a website. It's called makemyhypno.com. And you go there and it explains a little bit about hypnosis and that kind of a thing. But essentially, the functional part of the website is that you fill out a form. It's really simple. There are 4 fields in this form, so it doesn't take very long to do. You put in your name, because I like having a person's name in their personalized recording. You pick what you want it to be for. I have 19 things that it works for now. and I plan to expand that. There are some things that I don't think this is the best use for, so they're not on the list. Like you can't quit smoking with my little Make My Hypno, for example. And then you put in your favorite scene, like where you want to imagine yourself being. So, Robin, your background here is this beautiful tropical beach. Maybe that's what you like, but maybe Jim, he likes being on a windswept mountain. So you put in what you want it to be. And then there's a little place for your sort of personal inputs. So you can say, make me quit thinking about my sister, or I want to stop eating chocolate, or tell me I am worthy, whatever. And you put in your email address, you verify your email and pay, and then in 5 minutes, you get this personal recording delivered to your email. I specifically designed it that way because I didn't want people to have to go back to my website to pick it up every time. And I wanted people to be able to save it to their phone. So if they're flying on a plane or in the Caribbean and they don't have cell service, this is a file, an MP3 file you can save directly to your phone or computer and listen to on repeat. So it's pretty spectacular. And I don't think there's very many out there right now that do this.
I haven't heard of anyone that has this yet. That's why I'm like, this is fascinating how you have that set up. And yeah, like the smoking one, I'm like, yeah, that really wouldn't work to.
No, right? I mean, you're a hypnotherapist.
No.
There are things that this would
Yeah.
be good for, and there are things that this won't be good for. So I thought, well, what's the best way to handle that? And then I thought, well, just be very clear. You can make a script for these things, but if you see something on the list that you want that's not on the list, then you should contact me or you or somebody who's a professional hypnotherapist, because like it's just not good for it doesn't mean hypnosis doesn't work for it. It just means this recording thing isn't the best choice.
Well, yeah, and I agree with you on that one, because there's like some of them that I've had that I've listened to, like even online, or like ones that I've listened that I've bought, and I'm like, they just don't work as well as if you're in person, because like the belief is different, like for why a person would start smoking. So that's just like an example. So it's like I understand that one. Yeah. So what's the thread that weaves throughout your careers? Because you mentioned you were in corporate, you were in digital marketing. How does all that play in? Because then I've given
this a lot of thought, and I think what it comes down to is that at my core, I am a creative, persuasive, and optimistic person. That's who I am. Now, there's a technical skill set that goes with being a hypnotherapist in terms of learning how the mind works and how to help people and how to clear bad stuff. And there's a skill set that goes with digital marketing, like how to build a website and how to spec it so that this data goes from point A to point B without screwing up. But the centerpiece of sort of the optimistic positivity, creativity, and persuasiveness is really kind of who I am. And it just has had these two different vehicles for how it's presented. I used to work in corporate marketing. Now I do marketing for small businesses. But my corporate days are, I think, over. Although I don't know, I might get on the stage there and speak to corporate, because I think corporate needs to be healed in a big way.
Most definitely.
Yeah. Well, and I saw also, as I was looking up your profile, another thing we both have in common, Robin, is that I am also a Maxwell certified coach like you.
I did not even know that. That's even smaller world yet.
That's even smaller world yet, because there are not many other hypnotherapists that I have met in the Maxwell world. So, we actually have quite. Now, I do not have a massive family. I have one child. You have many. But we do have a number of things in common.
Well, that's awesome. So we can talk more when we're done. So that's a plus. But I mean, there isn't a whole lot of people. I'm like, I wish I could find someone that's doing what I'm doing. So I mean, that's a plus, because it's like, how often do you seriously meet somebody that's still working on themselves, still developing themselves, still doing the work, still doing all these things, and it's just like, it's amazing though. So, well, we know how. So, I guess it's kind of how do you help people then? Because I mean, like, you've got
I help
same
people in a lot of ways,
Great.
as you can imagine.
Yeah.
I help people in part. I mean, one of the easy ways I help some people are with my books. I have 2 books. One is called An Alignment of Spirit, Finding Work You Love. And it is kind of a law of attraction manifesting book. So anybody who's interested in that topic, that's a great book. And then partly because I was inspired after getting certified with John Maxwell, I wrote another book earlier this year called The ABCs of Conscious Leadership. And it's a fun little book. It's a book that goes through the alphabet with a trait of conscious leaders and a personal story, a story from them, and an affirmation. So, for example, A is for authenticity, because I think that's a trait of conscious leaders. And it tells my
Yes.
story of authenticity. And then the example from history that I chose for A is Abraham Lincoln, because he was a very authentic guy. And it goes through all the letters all the way to Z. So it's a very easy to read book, approachable. And so I got really kind of onto this whole leadership thing for a while. And then I discovered my app idea and said, nobody's doing this. Somebody's going to do it. I'm going to do it now. And built my app. So, I help people one-on-one. I have a few groups for a few different things. And now I have my app, which isn't going to be for everyone and everything, but it's, I mean, as a hypnotherapist, if you wanted to make a recording for a client and you needed to sit down at your microphone and give your personal time to making that happen, that eats up a lot it And now
does.
I've found a way to make this happen in a high quality way, very quickly, efficiently, and at an excellent price point.
Which is always a plus, because, like, I don't know if you can hear my dog in the background, but I mean, like, sometimes you get that and then you got to edit it, and it's just like, could you just be quiet?
Yeah.
I swear the dog makes
problem.
more noise.
It's a problem too, right? When you're recording, and then what if the doorbell rings or something like that? And the nice thing about these automated recordings from Make My Hypno is they're clean. They come out clean every time.
That's a huge plus. And then, like you said, then you can always offer that upgrade of, hey, if you need more help, the one-to-one, this I can do more. So what kinds of clients do you work with for hypnotherapy then? Because I know, like, we all have our own area. That's what I'm really learning is, like, we've got some that specialize in, I'm so glad that different people have different things of what they like to work on. Because me, I'm like, don't afford me with addictions and alcohol and smoking. I'm like, nope, I don't want to help in that area. So what kind of clients do you help
No, there's
with?
there's different preferences, right? I love helping people with a variety of things. It's kind of easier to say the things I don't do. So I'm not real big on helping people. I do help some people with pain, but it's not my forte. I do help people quit smoking. I help people decrease drinking. Although I think that most people who I've met who need to be completely sober probably need to be in a program for that, not just with me. But like I helped a client who was drinking a bottle of wine a night, drink a glass. That's big,
Well, yeah, that is.
She was happy, I help people with phobias, and I'm quite good with behavior changes like biting nails and hair pulling, eyelash pulling, weird grimacing. Not sure. I don't know why I'm good at it, but I am good at it. I think it's hypnosis is such a wide area that, as you said, Robin, like, not everybody has to do everything.
No, they certainly don't. And I know, like, at times it's like it's easier to make, like you said, a list of the stuff you don't do or the stuff you like to work on. Because, like, I
love to work
definitely
on confidence and career growth,
Yeah.
creativity, and relationships.
Well, that's a plus though, because I'm like, confidence seems to be like the easiest one to help bring that up for anybody. At least in my case, it seems like it's the easiest one. And then, like, the anxiety, I'm like, I know that one's easy because I'm like, that's it's easier.
I've seen anxiety be pretty easy, and then I've seen anxiety be really hard.
Oh, I've
And
only seen it be easy in my case, so that's probably a
I
good
had
thing.
one of my clients came to see me. She was a real estate agent, like in her late 60s, early 70s. So like very experienced, confident business kind of person. And she had this onset of severe anxiety that came out of nowhere, couldn't leave the house, couldn't go to the gym, couldn't visit with her friends, couldn't do all the things she needed to do. And she's one of the few clients who had coming to see me in person twice a week for a couple of months. It was a very resistant case of anxiety. However, we did get her eventually over it. I know you're a Christian, I think, right?
Yes, I am very much. I read my Bible and I apply
Yeah.
it. The
And
application is getting harder.
my client was very strong in her faith. And part of what I think really helped her get over the top with the whole thing was calling upon her faith and incorporating her faith in her sessions and her treatment. And I think I haven't seen that happen for everyone, but for the people where that belief is strong and can really help them, it helped her clear that last hurdle that we were stuck on. And now she's so much better and sings my praises. So we're a happy pair of friends now.
Well, that's a good thing though. And
Absolutely.
I know like well yeah, it is. And I know like for me, like bringing in working with Jesus in like so there's one that I had just recorded myself for about like finding your true purpose. But instead of using like a wise guide, I'm like, just use Jesus. I'm like, why not use Jesus as part of this? Because I believe in him. Why not take and use him to help me guide to where I want to go?
Mm-hmm. And see, here again, you're giving me more and more reasons why I think my app, Make My Hypno, is so important and valuable, because there are people for whom they want it to be a wise guide or a guardian or some other deity, right? Because that's what works for them. But what works for you is Jesus. So you would want Jesus in a recording. And the way that my app works is that each individual gets to ask for what they want and they get it.
That's awesome.
Now, I guess there are a couple of things in there that I've told the app not to do. I've told the app, like people can't say they want to eat ice cream all the time, and people can't say like there's a few little things I put in there that are intended to prevent misuse, shall we say?
Yeah.
But as you know, hypnosis works by building up the parts and the things that you already believe in. And so that's what it's going to do.
And that's huge, especially because I'm like thinking of all the different ways a person could use this app to help them. So is this like what's new at the intersection of wellness and AI?
I think so. And I think it represents kind of an excellent model for where I think wellness apps should be playing right now. So the scope of Make My Hypno is big and broad, but Make My Hypno is not trying to replace your hypnotherapist, for example. Make My Hypno is not going to be your therapist and listen to you and tell you what to do. And I think that that's really where we stand today, October 2025, in terms of where we ought to be. I do worry. I keep listening to podcasts and hearing about individuals who are going to ChatGPT and thinking that that's going to provide them a great amount of therapeutic wellness. And guys, it's not set up for that. And you got to be a little careful. And you got to be a little careful sort of pouring your heart out to a digital device as opposed to a human. And it's all new and different. And I don't know exactly where it goes and how fast, but it's exciting to be at this point.
I was going to say I agree with everything that you just had said about for like people that are using it as like their therapist. And then I've even seen people that are using it for like their own hypnosis scripts and stuff for like the chat GPT and stuff. And I'm like, I haven't done that because I'm still using my brain. I'm just saying it's a great tool to use.
Yeah, brains are great.
Like, well, yeah. And I'm like, I still am using that over the AI stuff because I'm like, you cannot replace emotions. Like you can't replace some of those things that are needed. And like when you said about like for the therapist part, it's like you can pour your heart out to the computer, but at the end of the day, it's still a machine. It's going to feed back whatever you want. And then I got to think, well, the brain works the same way for the law of attraction. People say law of attraction isn't real. AI is doing it for you. Make me have this. Well, you're going to get that. It's, you know what? Now that I'm thinking of it, that'd probably be a great way to explain hypnosis. So much easier, though.
AI. One of the problems with AI, in terms of its interface with the world, is that AI doesn't know fear.
No, it doesn't.
It doesn't know fear, and fear is an essential part of our experience. And because it doesn't know fear, it doesn't know real emotions. It doesn't know how to behave in those ways. And so expecting it to be able to advise you with the true wisdom of an actual human is, well, let's just call it incomplete, right? It's not the same thing. And, Make My Hypnos great. It'll work for those things that I've got in there, but it doesn't work for everything. And so if you're looking for something and it's not on the list, and you want some help, then let's have a phone call, see if I can help. It might be in my bag of tricks, or I might say, oh, hey, Robin would be better at that, or, oh, hey, you should call Joel. But hypnosis is a really powerful technique that can help people with a wide variety of challenges and problems. And it can't hurt you. It can't. Another thing I do.
It can only help you.
It can only help you.
That's all I've ever seen. And I haven't seen no side effects from it either.
No.
That's what I love the most about it. I'm like, there's no side effects.
No, there's no side effects. A couple of times I've had people wake up in my chair, and for about 2 seconds, it's like they're waking up in the morning, and they'll kind of shake their head and go, oh, well, oh, yeah, I'm here. But, if you can handle that every morning, I think you can handle that with hypnotherapy. So, but I can tell, Robin, you and I are very much in the same place, that it's all about sort of getting your message right, getting your mindset right, and getting your momentum to grow, be the person you want to be, and change the world in the way that you are here and meant to change the world. Because I think all of us are here to play a part. We arrived on Earth with some personality, goal, intention, dream, challenge, and that's, I want to help people sort of have the best ride they can through that.
And that's a huge plus, because that's what we all need. And that's like when you said about like for the corporate too, I'm like, my thing is that wanting to switch from not just like the one-to-one, but going into corporate, it's like I come back down to like the same 3 things. I'm like, everyone wants to be seen, heard, and valued. And I'm like, that's what it is. But like when you said corporate, I'm like, I know that's what they need. And it's like, that's where I'm like with the Maxwell leadership, even I'm like, okay, I want to go into corporate, but then they just look at me like, oh, we don't need no healing. That's like, really?
Well, I'm in California, so the good news is that California is a little bit more hip to these crazy ideas. But
yeah, better than South Dakota. They're closed.
Yeah, probably better than South Dakota. It's a box.
They're a box underneath the rock in the dirt 6 feet under, and still.
And cold. It gets cold there.
The people? Yes. The weather? Yes.
I meant the weather.
I'm just giving crap about the area that I'm in. It's specifically Watertown. I've been there, and it's sad because it's like we need to be nicer to each other. But
well, I think a lot of that could be said for our nation and the globe right now.
It is. It's just like
this is a time where we need healing. Yeah.
Yeah, it is, and that's where I'm like, I can tell both of us just have that heart that we're just like, we just want to help people. Like at the end of the day, I think that's like what you said. That's why you left corporate. You just want to help. And like things were just,
Well, and see the
you know,
see the results of my help a little bit more upfront and personal. Now, somebody quits smoking, or they overcome morning sickness, or they can get on an airplane, or whatever it is. I have a real person looking at me saying thank you. And I mean, I did have teams of people at corporate that said thank you, but what I was doing for them wasn't the same thing in terms of their growth and healing. And it feels good to be able to do that for people.
yeah, for me, the only way I can describe it, it's like having a newborn baby every time without having to have the C-section. I'm just like, that's how it feels like for me. Every single time, like I've helped somebody, and I know that I've done like the work. I'm not the one doing the work, but you know what I mean. Like I'm the one guiding them. Like that's all we're doing, was we're guiding somebody from where they're at to where they want to be. And so it's like, for me, like I said, it's literally like having the baby without having to go through the C-section every time.
Well, I was lucky. I've only had one baby, and I had no C-sections. So,
it's
but again, I think, it's funny.
Thank God for hypnosis for that. I'm just saying.
Yeah. Well, but I think a lot of this is mindset. One of the stories I tell in one of my books is when I was pregnant, because I was only pregnant once, I met my mom's friend, Diane. And Diane told me this story about how she'd had 3 boys, and all of them had been super fast labors. And I was like, I want to be like Diane. And so my whole pregnancy, I kept thinking, I'm going to have a super fast labor. I'm going to be like Diane. I am not going to be one of those people in the hospital for hours and hours and hours. That is not me. I am like Diane. And when my son came, my labor went super fast. It came before I needed to get to the hospital before my husband could get home. My girlfriend had to drive me to the hospital. I got to the hospital, then it slowed down a little bit. But overall, like I was in labor, I think 6 hours, which for a first labor is really quick.
That is.
I think it's because I decided I was going to be like Diane.
That's awesome. So we already know how fast the mind works and how powerful it is. So what's the best way for our audience to get in contact with you?
The best way, 2 websites. My website that describes me and all of my hypnosis business is michellewalters.net, MICHELLEWALTERS.net. And then the web app that has the Make My Hypnosis on it is Make My Hypno, MAKEMYHYPNO.com. And I will send you, when we're done, a link to put in your show notes so that your listeners can get a 25% discount on purchase of a single or a bundle of scripts.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. I really, really appreciate it. And then is that the best way for people to find you on socials as well? Or
yes,
just
my socials handle on Instagram and on YouTube is Mind Power Junkie. My podcast is called Mind Power Meets Mystic, and you can find me under Michelle Walters on LinkedIn and on Facebook.
Awesome. So I know who I'm going to be following.
Well, thank you, Robin. This has been so much fun. I have a great time connecting with you and can't wait to meet your listeners.
Well, I'm excited as well. So I just want to have everybody remember to like, share, comment, and subscribe to Healing for the Soul podcast, and keep coming back for more episodes. Thank you, everyone, for your time, your energy, as always, in listening to today's episode of Healing for the Soul podcast.
That's all for now, folks. Make sure you listen to Healing for Fun. Tap that follow button. Subscribe. Quack, quack. Bye-bye. Well, next time. Now you got it.